I'm joined by Adam from Artilect today, and he's going to take me through a couple of the key pieces and explain how Artilect started. So for people watching, Artilect's quite a new brand, so what can you tell me? How did it all begin?
It's kind of the brainchild of our founder. He's a guy called Trent Bush. He lives over in Boulder in Colorado, so the spiritual home of the brand. And he basically had this idea of, can performance and sustainability, can they work together in unison? Why are they mutually exclusive when it comes to performance, fabrics and technologies? If you break Artilect down, it's basically short for equal parts art and intelligence, so it's kind of the intelligent design of an apparel system. Each of the products, not just that you've got here, but across our entire range, live within this system that everything incorporates something different, something new in terms of innovation. So the system breaks down into 5 categories. So we shorten it to ASIS, so we've got ASIS 1 through to 5. So ASIS 1 is our base layer. Mid layer, which you're sporting today, is ASIS 2. And then insulation, which we've got 2 pieces of here, is ASIS 3. ASIS 4 is what we call vapor layer, which is kind of like active protection prior to getting to hard shell, and then ASIS 5 is your hard shell layer.
The next question is, what technologies is being utilised in all these different layers to make them work together and work as their own pieces?
Each piece on its own works really well, but what we kind of say is the magic really happens when you put it all together.
Okay.
So everything is engineered to layer up on top of one another, whether that's from a size perspective or a technology perspective. So if you take the Merino base layers as a starting point, you can layer it up with another Merino layer in terms of your mid layer. And then we have 2 options where you can use wool further. So whether it's the down and wool jacket that we have here, or we do a body mapped wool piece as well. And then you've got your hard shell on top of all that as well. So it's not just about kind of layering things up, it's how it thermoregulates your body temperature, how it moves the moisture from your skin all the way through the system to the outer piece and ultimately into the environment.
I actually have this base layer and it's amazing, but I didn't really know much about Nuyarn before getting it and probably still don't know that much. So what can you tell me about Nuyarn and how it's different from merino wool?
The clue with Nuyarn is actually in its name. It's a completely new way of spinning a merino yarn, and it's the closest that a man-made yarn is to how wool actually exists on a sheep's back.
Okay.
So normally with traditional fabrics, it's either ring spun or core spun, which basically it's spun into a rope-like structure. With Nuyarn, they're able to what they call draft the merino along a filament core. So in our case, it's nylon.
So there's nylon in the middle, and then it's wrapped around nylon.
Yes,
right?
yeah. So core spun is a similar idea, but instead of it being really tightly wound, this drafting process keeps it a much looser kind of structure around that core.
Okay.
And then they use a 2-ply structure, and essentially it opens up the loftiness of the yarn so that more air can penetrate and pass through. Moisture can be absorbed and can dry quicker. Ultimately, you get more durability out of the fabric life as well. So all the benefits that come with Nuyarn over traditional merino, which is 5 times faster drying time, which has always been an issue with regular.
And that's because of the space between the yarns?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So it's a more lofted yarn, a lot more lofted fabric essentially. So air can pass through it much quicker, it can dry any moisture out much faster, there's more stretch, there's more natural stretch to it, it can retain more heat, so we can go lighter in the fabrics when compared to traditional fabrics. So as an example, your base layer here is 125 grams, but that's the equivalent of 200 grams in traditional merino fabrics.
Okay.
So we're using less, but we're getting more out of the fabric.
And can you tell me a bit more about the weight of different fabrics and how that all works?
We have our warm weight, which is a 125 gram fabric, and like I say, that's the equivalent to 200. And then we have a warmer weight, which is 185, and that's the equivalent to 260 in traditional fabrics. So it is all about kind of using less but achieving more with the end results.
And as for the other layers, do these utilise any kind of new technologies or anything that people might not have heard of before.
Yeah, very much so. The pink jacket here, this is called the Elevate Primaloft Bio-Insulated Hoodie. It's quite a mouthful. But essentially it is, it has a Primaloft insulation inside, 60 grams worth, but they basically developed a way to add an enzyme to the fibres that attracts microbes in landfill and ocean environments. So it basically is eaten by microbes when it ends up, ultimately in a landfill. Or, from a fleece perspective, like the one again that you're wearing, when you wash it, microfibres come off and they go down the plug hole. And again, rather than them swimming around in the sea for however long, if they make it that far, these ones will attract the microbes and they'll be eaten by the microbes. So within 2 to 3 years, basically a fleece like yours can be completely gone.
So let's have a closer look at the insulated jackets. What can you tell me about the design and features that they've got?
Okay, so we've kind of touched on the different insulations. One thing that they both share is the DWR that we use. What we're using is something called MPEL. It's non-harmful, it's no PFCs, it doesn't use any water in the process, there's no solvents used in it, and basically it's a permanent treatment because it's hyperfused to fibre level with heat and pressure. You don't have to do anything with it, you don't have to reproof it, it's there for the lifetime of the product. So this jacket's got it in its entirety. This one has it on certain panels in terms of where the wool is, so the hood, down the side panels, and on the seat of the jacket. The MPEL treatment is market leading. They only work with select partners, so there's a few others out there who are using it, but we're the brand that has the biggest collection of MPEL within our range. Thank
you so much for coming in to talk to us today, Adam. I've learned so much about all the different pieces and how you layer them and the different technologies that are there. If you want to shop Artilect, you can do so in store or online at Tiso.com.